You are first. That is true. That did happen. Okay. Oh, I should probably write it in the chat. That'd probably be a good idea. And not in the jams section. I mean, to be fair, Ari, there's been a lot of times when I go live that there were 0 people in here and you were the only one in here. So we've come a long way since then, haven't we? Okay. Let's I guess get some music going and get started here today. Hi, Jeff. Good morning. Are you just lighting up my gift gallery, or am I like, are you trying to get rid of me? Oh, you're just lighting up my gift gallery. Thank you, Audie. It's like, what did I do? It just started. Hi, Dragon's Celt. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it is Tuesday. I will take calls in a little bit. Evo, chill. I'm playing music on TikTok first. Just chill out. We'll get the day started. It's okay. Kirby Scream Raid. My mic isn't working. What do you mean? I'm speaking right now. No, it's the right mic. Oh. Oh, my brother must have turned it down. Better? Is that better? Okay. My brother turned down the dial, or I accidentally hit it. All right, guys, as you're coming in on TikTok, I know we're playing music, but let's make sure we're doing all the good things, please. Let's start up with those taps. Start getting the rose goal accomplished. Guys, if you're watching over there on YouTube, I'm sorry that you cannot hear the music, but you know, YouTube and copyrights. Hit that thumbs up button for me while we're sitting here, okay? And the more that you spam my phone, the more I'm not going to answer you when I open my phone lines. Really? They let me. Oh, did you figure it out? Oh, yeah, no. Which ones? I also have a mermaid on my thigh that you can't see because I'm wearing black leggings, but it's there. But yeah. I don't know how to do that, Juan. I've seen it, but I don't know how to do that. Good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here today. I hope everybody's doing well. Can we make sure that we are tapping that screen on TikTok? Make sure we are tapping the screen, sharing the live out. Do your daily heart me if you have not done so. Sharing the live, you can repost, add it to your story, share it to 5 of your friends. Doing your daily heart me, that's that little gold heart up at the top because obviously you're already following me. Why wouldn't you be? And that gives you access to the stickers. I already have it turned up a lot. Like I don't want to it gives you access to stickers in the chat. So you can do that. Guys, we still have that rose goal. I've got about what is that? Almost, I can't do math. Leave me alone. However many are left of that. So please get that accomplished for me. I would appreciate it. If you're watching over on YouTube, guys, and you haven't hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button for me. Guys, you can also become members over there if you're already, if you're not, you can just subscribe over there. That's pretty much following over there, right? You can become a member, send super chats. Sometimes the chat goes by a little bit too fast and I can't read it, so it's a lot easier for me to read your comments if you send it as a super chat. If you're watching over there on Twitch, hello, I see you. Make sure you are following me. If you are following me and you have the ability to subscribe, please subscribe. If you are paying for Prime, Jeff Bezos gives you 1 free Prime sub a month. Why not use it on me? I would appreciate that. You guys know you can send bits, and if you subscribe, you get access to stickers over there as well. Guys, I have my goal today, but W's to Sparky for getting me down halfway. W's, huge W's to Sparky. Lycan. Huge W's to Sparky for the $50. That leaves us with only $50 for the entire 2 hours that I'm live to get accomplished. I know we can get that accomplished with a $1 train, a $2 train. We are crowdfunded here. This is my job. This is how I pay for my bills. So if you would like to help with that, I would appreciate it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio. Let me get this goal reset. I'll get my work wife up here and we can get started today. Guys, do you see my wonderful sunburn? Do you see my awesome sunburn? It's great.
I do. Does it feel better though?
It still hurts. It's still raw. This feels better because there's nothing like rubbing on my shoulders now. My arms are better. Like they're starting to kind of tan. It's not, but like these are just, they're angry.
Pick the green app though.
Oh. I can't with you. W's to Olive. And also, by the way, I love that we pay each other on all 3 different apps all the time. That's we don't have one app that we stick to. We do PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App to each other all the time. So W's to Olive for the 10 for gotta start you off right. Wink, wink, lip bite. Love that. Damn, dropped my phone. I'm so excited. W's to Olive, please. Guys, that brings us down to 40 to get us accomplished today. It is painful. I don't want to talk about it. Wear sunscreen. I forgot. Okay? Wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. Okay. Let's get ourselves started today. I'll turn the phone lines on. Don't start spamming and freaking out. Just chill and we can get started. Okay. Yeah, liberals are unemployed except for that I make my money here, so you know. It was overcast, but we live in Colorado, so that sun is deceiving. All right, let's get into some Iran stuff. We have updates from yesterday. This deal that's supposed to be signed Friday is looking less and less like a real deal. It looks like an agreement for an agreement. We will talk about that. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
I voted for Trump, and I am 32.
And what state did you vote in?
I voted in South Carolina.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
I just want to say Jesus loves you. That's all.
You want to say what? I'm sorry?
Jesus loves you. That's about all.
Oh, I'm glad he does. If only people would actually follow red letter Jesus, then we would be in much better position. But they don't seem to do that because they vote for rapists and felons. So, like you. Maybe read your book. You spammed that number for the entire time I played Suavemente so that you could tell me that Jesus loves me. That's what you did? Because I don't know if you know this.
I love the Lord.
Jesus loves me this sorry.
My trauma response. You were in my YouTube chat saying, please let me call you. Please, 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 over and over that my mods were telling you to stop spamming. All for you to tell me that Jesus loves me. I know, which is why I didn't vote for the 34 count felon adjudicated rapist. Anyway, Iran. They're getting an agreement to an agreement. So a concept of a healthcare plan. 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. A lot can happen on Friday. Now, and here's the thing. What they are supposedly signing on Friday is called an MOU. It is a Memorandum of Understanding. What this Memorandum of Understanding is, we don't have the text for. But what they are telling us it is, what the administration is telling us it is that it is basically an extension of 60 days of ceasefire, even though I thought we were already doing that, except that we were bombing each other during that time. But it is a 60-day extension on this ceasefire to allow them to negotiate this plan. Okay? That's what it is. In the 60 days, they're going to negotiate what goes into this deal, and then they are going to sign it, supposedly. So it's a concept. A lot can happen from now to Friday, and a lot can happen during 60 days of negotiation with a very hot-headed and president, an incompetent president, and an incompetent administration. So that's going to be interesting to see. So I played yesterday the video of Vance talking about the fact that, yes, Iran could get up to $300 billion from the Gulf nations. So not from us, but from the Gulf nations as part of this negotiation, if they behave, whatever that means. So JD Vance went on Hannity, so I have a few clips from JD Vance on Hannity, and he is talking about the fact that people are questioning this $300 billion. And one, they're just double checking that this is not taxpayer dollars, which he's going to confirm, but also that they're getting paid regardless. You're sending them money to rebuild, which I thought the whole point was to cripple them. I guess it never was. What I'm trying to figure out, even if they sign this on Friday and the 60 days they negotiate some sort of a deal, we've always said on this side, we've said that's the best case scenario is Donald Trump walking away with a watered down JCPOA. Can you guys tell me what we got out of this? Because this seems like a capitulation to me. We lost this war.
Report that I've been reading leading up to this interview tonight is that the Qataris are giving them $300 billion with the sign, sealed, and approval of the U.S. The president did put out a truth denying all of it. Iran has agreed to never have a nuclear weapon, and the story that the U.S. is paying Iran $300 million is fake news. We are not giving them an American dollar, number one, true, and number two, did the U.S. ever sign off on the Qataris paying them that money?
No, we've not. The agreement says they are not getting a single dime of American money. That's just not what this is. What the agreement does say, Sean, is again, if the Iranians behave, and if there are sanctions relief, and if the Iranians are integrated into the world economy, we would invite other countries, not us, but other countries to invest in their country.
So the money they're talking about is money, is assets. Again, we love that word. Frozen assets from Iran that is in Qatari banks. That's what Hannity's talking about, is that if they behave, if they sign this deal, that they will then get the money that Qatar has frozen in assets in their banks. Okay? So not American dollars. The issue I'm having is that was the same thing that happened with Obama. You guys just didn't understand that. The $1.7 billion that Obama sent, which was frozen asset money and also money in regards to a arms deal that went wrong that we had adjudicated and had a judgment on that we had to return to them, also was not U.S. dollars. The reporting on that was that it was done in European like francs. So, same thing. Oh, except the money, it's more money. It's more money. Cap, you're saying Obama funded Hezbollah. You would have to prove that to me that they used that money for that. But what is this? If they get money from Qatar, who has the oversight on how they spend that money? Is that part of the negotiations of the deal? We don't know because they're not telling us anything.
That's fine, but only if they comply with the terms of the agreement.
So what I'm hearing is that they could still be getting money. That's what I'm hearing from JD Vance.
And correct me if I'm wrong, with the money that we want to give, or we're going to give Iran with this deal, is more than what Obama gave during the JCPOA.
If the money that they are talking about, that Iran is talking about, is correct, it would be upwards of $300 billion in money from these other nations that have frozen their assets.
Interesting.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Yeah, my name is Jay. I'm 24. I just seen some fat chick on here doing this earlier, but
Okay, so this is, again, him on Hannity, and Hannity's asking them. So they are agreeing to never enrich uranium at all. Is that what they're agreeing to as part of this deal? People are trying to get information about this supposed deal. What's going on with this deal?
Fundamentally destroy their program, but that does set them back a little bit further, and that's important, of course, to the United
And
States
they are
of
agreeing
America.
never to.
Okay. Now, I missed the first part of that conversation, but he's saying that it sets them back. That wasn't our goal, was it? I thought our goal was complete obliteration. That's not what we're doing.
Rich.
They're agreeing right now to eliminate the enriched stockpile, and if they don't get to a point where they agree to stop enriching, then they don't get the other benefits of the bargain. And that's the way this is set up. Is a lot of the technical details we're going to figure out over the next month, over the next 2 months. But
Oh, so this isn't a done deal. We're still negotiating. You see, there's this thing that we were doing. Olive probably knows about it. This thing that we were doing with them prior to February 28th. I think JD Vance just said it. It was something that we were doing. We were negotiating with them about their nuclear program.
Yep.
So why did we do this? Why did we spend billions of dollars in this war? Why did we lose 14 service members that we know of at the very least? Hundreds more injured? Why did we double tap a school and kill hundreds of Iranian school children? Why did we do this? If all that we're getting is back to negotiations that are going to take a month to 2 months? Why?
Losing the stockpile as well is a problem.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My age is 19. I support Trump. I didn't vote for Trump because I couldn't at the time. And then yeah,
And what state would you vote in when you are able to vote?
Kentucky.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
More or less it's just the abortion stuff.
Oh, why should I care about your opinions on abortion?
Well, you cared enough to make a stream about why I support Trump, so I'd assume you would care what I have to say.
Donald Trump doesn't have a firm stance on abortion.
But can you agree that he's more pro-life than Kamala?
No.
You
'Cause
think
he's
Kamala's more
flip-flopped on
pro?
that. And also the
think-
programs that he ends that would provide for these children that are being forced to be born. Yeah, no, he's not pro-life. He's pro-birth, like most of you are. You're pro-birth. You're not pro-life. You don't want to help provide for these children that are being forced to be had. No. What I would advise you
I'm
to
saying-
do is find a woman or a partner who wants to have a child with you. Absolutely do that. There's no problem. I have no problem with you doing that. Leave the rest
So
of us
should I
alone.
should I sit back and watch people get murdered?
Define murder.
The unjust taking of a human life.
What's unjust about it?
That they're innocent and did nothing wrong, but they're being dismembered or
How are they
poisoned
innocent?
because they did nothing to be guilty.
They didn't do anything to be innocent either. I see them as an amoral agent. Do you have exceptions?
They are innocent, and
Do you have
I
exceptions?
think it's the stake. If the mother's life is at stake.
Okay, so then you don't
medically.
actually care about murder because you're totally fine with murdering said baby as long as it is for the life of the mother. So since you grant
It's not
exceptions,
murdering because it's
since you grant
just. It's
since
just.
you grant exceptions, you do not have a consistent basis to argue this point. And also, I don't care. Find a woman who wants to have a baby with you. Anyway,
basic structure is they can get a lot if they comply with the United States demands. They don't get anything if they don't comply with anything.
right, Ari. That's also not what the Bible teaches. You have to be born to be able to have that. So I don't know why you think you'd be able to call again. That's actually not the abortion person. You again. I hung up on you for a reason. Men don't understand consent, which is also why they are pro-birth because they don't understand consent. I'm shocked. For one. But again, JD Vance just made it very, very clear that there are negotiations that are going to be happening over the course of the next month to 2 months, meaning we could have just been negotiating with them this whole time instead of spending billions of dollars losing the life of service members and also murdering kids. Speaking of pro-life, maybe we could have just done that and been diplomatic we didn't do anything. We haven't done anything. Continuing on, though, Hannity is going to ask again about this deal of a deal, agreement for an agreement, which is what this MOU is supposed to be on Friday. How about inspections? How about inspections of their nuclear facilities?
Let's talk about any place, anywhere, anytime U.S. inspectors.
That's
that part of the deal?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that we are negotiating over, Sean. That's one of the.
Oh, we don't even have that together either, whether we're going to be able to inspect their facilities. That's something we still have to negotiate. You see how this deal is sounding less and less like a win by the moment? Also, we've talked about this, me and Olive have talked about this. JD Vance has been in hiding for the last 4 weeks. We haven't really seen him. Yes, he was on a plane being sent with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to negotiate, and we got nothing out of that. Here we are again. While Marco Rubio was at a UFC fight with the president, even though he's the Secretary of State, but he was kind of in hiding. Hasn't been really speaking out. All of a sudden, he's everywhere. I wonder if they're setting up him as a patsy, trying to throw him under the bus. But that's just me. That's just my assumptions. But again, this deal is sounding less like a deal each day, each moment they open their mouth, because they're saying we still have to negotiate. I think that we had a signed agreement that allowed for inspection at any time. I could be wrong about that. But I think it was because they didn't like it because the man wore a tan suit. I think that might be why they didn't like that agreement. But I could be wrong. Maybe. But I don't think I'm wrong. Yes, it is Tuesday. It is Titties Out Tuesday, guys. Make sure we are appreciating that. So again, what is that about inspections?
Talk about any place, anywhere, anytime U.S. inspectors. That's that part of the deal?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that we are negotiating over, Sean. That's one of the final details that's going to be figured out here. Is if you go back to the original Obama JCPOA.
Okay, now we're gonna pivot. Now we're gonna pivot because we could inspect under the JCPOA. We had that deal in place, but Donald Trump had to come in and destroy it. Granted, that's not JD Vance's fault. He wasn't in part of the administration during that time. Actually, during that time, JD Vance hated Donald Trump, but scruples, principles, things that Republicans don't have. But sure, let's talk about Obama. Since you don't have this, you've already admitted you have to negotiate this. Let's talk about Obama.
With it. Number one, by the way, is that the Gulf Arabs hated the Obama deal. Why? Because they thought that it empowered the Iranians to be a malign actor. It actually enriched the Iranians while they were misbehaving.
Prove that. And prove they were misbehaving. Nobody has been able to find me a report from the IAEA that they were misbehaving. You are simply meant to take JD Vance and Trump's word on that. No one. We have talked about this for over a year. Nobody's been able to show me that they broke the JCPOA.
This deal, the Gulf Arabs love, because they know that this is the kind of deal that can fundamentally transform the Middle East. Another problem with that deal is that the inspections regime was effectively non-existent. There was a little bit there, but it was basically non-existent.
Except that we were getting reports. If it was non-existent, why do we have these reports that prove that they were behaving if we weren't inspecting? Again, they just lie to you. My point is that I know he's going to lie. I know Trump is going to lie. I know Hegseth's going to lie. I know Rubio's going to lie. Why do you let them lie to you? Are you just that incapable of critical thinking that you have to pretzel yourself and glaze Donald Trump's taint so hard that you can't come up with this on your own, that you can't look at this information on your own? Why? Why do you believe the lies that they tell you? If the inspection portion of the JCPOA was so non-existent, why do we have reports? Isn't it non-existent with the new one? It's really non-existent with the new one because they have to negotiate it. He just admitted that.
And this goes back to our fundamental principle here, that if they show verifiable commitment, and that means a real inspections regime, then they can get the benefits of the bargain.
Oh,
That's what we already had. We already had that, JD Vance. They're just trying to peddle this to you so that you guys believe it. So, another one of Vance on Hannity. Thank you so much, Dark Lord, for the 6, 7. I appreciate you for that. And so what happens if Iran says no? Because, by the way, there's already issues. I don't really have that on the outline today, but there are already issues because Pakistan is the one who's been helping us to negotiate this supposed deal this entire time. Pakistan and Iran have said that Israel leaving Lebanon has to be part of the deal or they will not agree. Israel has come out and said, fuck you. Israel has said, we're not leaving. We're staying in this occupied portion of Lebanon. It's actually pissing Trump off. There's been a few clips recently of him at the G7 where he's very upset with Israel and Netanyahu for this. But they're already talking past each other on this. So what happens if Iran doesn't come down to the deal?
In order to make progress, we're still going to have incredible military might. We're still going to have diplomatic leverage over them. We have the cards, and if they don't honor the commitment, we'll...
Again, another lie they tell you. We do not have the cards. We have lost this war. All we have done is prove to Iran that they can shut down the global market anytime that they want to by closing the strait. That's all we've done.
Figure out what to do when we get there.
So basically, the president, if I had to guess or interpret...
What if they said no after Obama's deal was up in December of 2025? Then we would be in a different position, Rib. I have no qualms with that. We would be in a different position. But the problem is that they've been willing to negotiate this whole time. We can't say what if on that because they have been willing to negotiate this whole time. They have been. They were negotiating before Midnight Hammer. They were negotiating before Epic Fury. They have been meeting with us in Pakistan and Oman. We were not there to win a war. Why were we there then, Rib Tip? Why were we there? Can you tell me?
I've known President Trump for 30 years. I would say that means go back and resume bombing.
It could.
It could be. And he would, I don't think he would.
It could. So we could go back to bombing. So this could mean nothing.
Hesitate.
It could mean the blockade goes back on, Sean. It could mean a lot of things, but what the president has said is he doesn't want to do those things. He wants Iran to be a normal country. They've got to act like it.
What?
Fucked with
I
that.
mean, it's just it never fails to make me giggle when they say these kinds of things because it's just like they could have negotiated. They could have actually they could have negotiated back in fucking June of last year.
They were. It's not even that they could. They were.
And then they bombed them.
Right. We also had instances where they were meeting in Oman or Pakistan. I can't remember. I think it was Oman. And this was before Midnight Hammer, if I'm not incorrect. It might have been after. Because again, even after Midnight Hammer, they were like, we're going to negotiate. That's fine. We'll come to the table. And they were in Oman. And Israel bombed the building they were in because they thought they were going to get the leadership.
Yep.
Yeah, Oman before. And Israel bombed them then. And they still were willing to come to the table. And then we did Midnight Hammer. And they were still willing to come to the table. And then we did Epic Fury. They have been coming to the table.
Let me ask you this. This is more philosophical.
So, again, what are we getting out of this? To disrupt the global economy. We were not there to win a war. We were there to disrupt the global economy. The U.S. was there to disrupt the global economy. Why? Why would he want to do that? I mean, besides market manipulation, why would he want to do that? And then Vance went on, this was this morning. Vance went on to Fox this morning and basically said the U.S. is not committing to anything. Thank you. I do not know what money denomination that is, but thank you for the 2,200 CLP. I appreciate it. Repro destruction. I apologize for such a name. He said, why did Iran leave out of Palestine? Why did they leave them out of the negotiations for the deal? As in, like, you need to leave Lebanon, but not about Gaza? I don't know. I don't know.
That's Chile peso.
The Chile peso. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So $2.40. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. My wonderful world calculators in here. Thank you for being smarter than me with money. I appreciate it. I like seeing the different denominations, though.
I do too.
I don't know. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me?
Who?
You're edging me today. W. Olives for the $5 on Venmo says, "'Cause I can." Lip bites. I love you. I love you too. She's edging me today. Love that. So again, Vance went on to Fox and Friends, to talk about the fact that the U.S. is not committing to anything. That's not how deals work. Deals work in compromise and capitulation. So I don't know what he thinks he's doing.
But here's the option for Iran. If you learn the right lessons from this, and if you change the way that you react and respond to the United States, option one is we're going to change the way that we respond to you. We're going to have a better relationship. But if they choose option two, which is we're going to continue to try to pursue a nuclear weapon, then nothing that we don't commit to doing anything as part of this deal. So the United States wins either way. What the president is trying to do is actually extend the hand of peace and say, if the Iranians...
How do we win either way? If we get a deal or not, how do we win either way on that? Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Yeah, I'm 40. I voted for Trump, and I'm in Washington State.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Why am I still supporting Trump? Well, I didn't think you were going to ask me directly like that, but I like the country after him being president for, what are we at, 6 years, not all in a row, and so proof is in the pudding.
What policy has he done that you support that has been beneficial?
No, I don't really. I don't really get into too specific like that.
Well, then how do you know that he's the one who's benefited you?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You know, if he's top of the pyramid, then the entire pyramid is responsible. So
well, but not
I do
necessarily.
understand.
Like you said, the proof is in the pudding. The pudding would be what ingredients are in that pudding. So we would have to talk about the policies because you know, I would hope that you know that politics are very slow, legislation is slow, and policy implementation is slow. So you would have to point to what effectuated benefit in his administration, whether first or now.
I don't think what do they call it? Those orders that a president signs when they first show up?
Executive
judicial
orders.
order. Executive order. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think those are very slow, right? They go into play pretty quickly.
But who do they
It's how a
affect?
president shows up. Oh, well, it depends on the executive order, of course.
Well,
they go
no.
all over the place.
No, they actually only affect the federal government, right? So he signed an EO capping credit card interest rates at 10%. That didn't happen because he cannot effectuate the private corporations with executive orders. Congress can. He cannot.
But he does anyway. Any president does.
Did the private corporations cap their interest rates at 10%?
I don't know.
No. They didn't.
They didn't.
No. Because he cannot
federal interest rates.
cannot regulate private corporations through executive orders.
Oh,
That's not
yeah.
how they're
Right, but
only
those-
for the executive
those-
branch.
Those private corporations are slave to the federal law. So
Well, no, but what I'm saying
everything
is that means that his executive orders don't mean a lot, right? So, like, he also signed one saying that we would get rid of paper straws and go back to plastic straws, right? He signed an executive order for that. The only place that effectuates is going to be the executive branch. So every federal government building in the United States switches back from paper straws to plastic straws. Doesn't mean anything for any other business in the United States. Like, they're not,
Yeah.
executive orders are not laws. That's just him writing things he thinks he can do that he can't.
Got it. That's a really good point. I'm not too worried about the paper straws, though. I'm just, same thing with Biden. I was looking around. I'm looking around. The country seems okay. There's always problems. There's been problems for 40 years, ever since I've started paying attention to who's president and the changes in the country.
Sure.
I don't think Trump is creating a country right now that doesn't deserve support.
I don't think that he has any policies that are beneficial to the American people. That's the problem. I'm not seeing
None?
him. No, not really. Things that he has signed that are part of other things, but they weren't his idea, and they also get gutted from other things, right? Like, the only thing I could give benefit to, which again is not his idea, people have been campaigning on this for decades, is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I think that is beneficial.
Yeah.
However, again, he didn't campaign. He campaigned on it, but it was not his idea. It's only until 2028, and then it expires. And also, it is gutted from the fact of what we are paying with an increase in cost because of his tariffs, because of his war with Iran, and also the cuts to benefits programs for the people who need it the most.
A couple things to think about there. Yeah, you kind of rifled through some. That expiration can just get re-rolled. Whoever shows up next ought to do it. I would agree
Congress
that
would have to extend it. I have a concern about whether Republicans will extend it or not. They don't like to spend money for the people, for the most part.
That's conjecture, but fair enough.
It's not. We can see it in their legislation, though. We can see it in their legislation. The legislation that they propose is cutting. That's what they like to do. They like to cut.
Yeah, we'd have to talk about the economics of cutting and the effects long term. If you look at a household and you have a good parent and a bad parent, and the bad parent goes into debt and makes sure the refrigerator is absolutely filled with ice cream, but you're in debt, then the kids are going to say, wow, this is a really good house. And then mom takes over and there's no more ice cream, but there's a fat bank account. The kids are going to be like, this parent sucks. There's no ice cream in here.
Cool, but I'm not a child. Sure, that's great. But I'm not a child. I'm 35 and I actually pay attention to the policy. And what I see is that although they are cutting programs for the American people, they are still spending. It's not like they stopped spending. They just cut over here, started to spend over here, which is why we are now $39 trillion in debt.
There's nothing we can do about that.
No, there is things we can do about that. We can stop voting for Republicans who keep cutting programs that the people need, because if we're supposed to be America first, if we're supposed to be benefiting people in the United States, we can actually benefit those people and stop spending on things like, and by stop, I don't mean stop. I mean look at, kind of refigure the amounts that we're sending to the DOD into our military that has not passed its last 8 audits now. Why are we not inspecting them? He created this DOJ that actually hurt people, not only here but across the globe, but they didn't look at the DOD once, but yet that's where all our money is going. And to tax cuts for the rich.
America's an imperialistic country. It always has been. So military
I'm aware, but you still made a choice in that imperialism. You made a choice.
Oh, I was born into it, but I like it. It sucks. It's very... it's a problem. It's a moral issue, but it's the reason I have a cell phone in my hand and I'm driving freely on the roads in between states, and no one's worried about it.
I mean, just hands free so that you're safe for yourself and others.
Yeah, I've got a headset for everyone listening. I do have a headset on.
Just double check it.
Yeah. No, it's sorry.
No, you're okay.
But we have a lot of freedoms, and we have a lot of resources, and that's because of the empire.
Sure, but the resources are not being given to the people as per our Constitution to provide for the general welfare, and that's where I have an issue. I'm not seeing where Donald Trump is doing things that are meant to be benefiting Americans. I see a lot of it benefiting him and his rich friends, and his ego, right? A lot of ballroom building, a lot of arch building, a lot of promenade building, but I'm not seeing where he is benefiting the everyday American who is sitting at a kitchen table, someone like myself with 2 kids, and trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for a car, how I'm going to pay my bills, how we're he's not putting anything in place. Neither are the Republicans in Congress putting anything in place to benefit the people.
Yeah. I have some things about that, but you're really good at this, and you're talking circles around me, so I'll concede for now. Thanks for the conversation.
Call me back if you come up with some talking points, and I would love to have a conversation because you're civil, so I appreciate that.
Oh, you got it. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Okay. What was I playing? I was playing something. Let me do messages. W's to DJ Bookie for the $5. DJ Bookie said daily work wife contributions. Thank you, DJ Bookie. I'm so glad that you are willing to get on your knees for me and send me money without me even having talking down to you today. It must be because it's Titties Out Tuesday, isn't it? I love that for you, DJ Bookie. Thank you for the $5.
That's what I forgot.
W's to Juicy Juice for the $2 train. Choo choo. Thank you for the 22 twain. I appreciate that as well. And thank you from Anonymous for the 533 on the PayPal, forcing me to pull out my calculator. We appreciate that so much. Thank you, Anonymous. Brings us down to 2267. If I did my math right, that is 57 and then minus the 533. So I think I did it right. I did it right while I was sitting here. I'm very proud of myself for that. So thank you. Okay. So again, JD Vance is in front of Fox News saying that the US is now not committing to anything. So again, what did we get out of this? I'm still waiting for that.
Anything as part of this deal. So the United States wins either way. What the president is trying to do is actually extend the hand of peace and say, if the Iranian people want greater prosperity, then their leadership has to step up and change their behavior. If they do, great. If they don't, the United States has already gotten a lot from what we need.
Have we? Again, in this video, JD Vance said, either way, we win. I don't think that's how that works, because when we were in the middle of bombing them, we weren't winning. People were hurting, and their polling was looking really, really bad. Don't worry, we're not done with JD Vance quite yet. But I have to say, Jesus, huge W's to Blue for the $10. Blue said, me look, with the eye emoji. I will say this is my favorite Titty Tuesday shirt. It's so comfortable, and it shows the girls off real nice.
Can we get matching Titty Tuesday shirts?
Yes, we need to make some.
Yeah. I mean, we still need people to let us know. Oh my God! Wait.
I'll talk to you about it. I think what I'm gonna do is I think that we should I think I'm gonna do, if you want to do a different one you can, but I think I'm gonna do the pipeline one. I think I'm just gonna make like a sample so that I can start wearing it first to see if we do really start getting the interest, and then we can go forward with that. I think would be a good idea.
Hold on, I have an idea, but I'll show it afterwards while I'm listening.
Can you fly me up there? Sorry, sorry, my Thumbelina stem came out. I apologize. Couldn't help myself. Okay. So again, Vance is being paraded around all over. I think he's being set up to get him, to throw him under the bus for if and when this doesn't work out. Again, everybody is trying to ask what is in this deal. And all we're getting again is negotiations that we could have done without bombing them.
For now, they are saying that they will reopen the strait. The United States is saying it will take down its blockade at the same time, that there will be free passage, that no one will have to pay anything to go back and forth through this. The Iranians, I think, have suggested that this is just for the next 60 days. Do you get the sense that this is a more permanent situation where the strait will be reopened even beyond that 60-day period?
No, I can't see it because I have my stupid pin thing over it. Just keep it there till that's gone.
Well, our expectation is that the strait is going to be opened in a toll-free way for the long term, and that's the sort of thing that we're going to figure out in these technical negotiations.
Okay, let me talk about that in a minute. I want to look at what Uruguay said. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Because I saw the one you made for you with the little swan. I loved it. One. It's so cute.
Dang.
So again, she's asking, okay, are they going to be charging a toll for people to go through the strait? And his response was, what?
Well, our expectation is that the strait is going to be opened in a toll-free way for the long term, and that's the sort of thing that we're going to figure out in these technical negotiations.
Oh, we're going to figure it out. So it's not set in stone. Negotiations. Again, what are we getting? This is sounding like every other 39 times that he said we've had a deal. Because they're supposed to sign it on Friday, which again is just signing an agreement to come up with an agreement. And then we're going to have 60 days of negotiation where anything can happen in that time. I would love to see us be done with this. I really would. I have said this from the start, even if it means that we have to sit there and go, oh my God, Trump got a win. He didn't, and we can talk about that. To say he got us out of this, I'm still going to critique him, but I would love for us to not be there anymore. I don't want to resume the war, but what I am saying is it's not looking good because we're not getting information. We're going to figure that out, whether they're charging a toll or not. That's not set in stone yet. So then this is not a deal. This is, again, you guys talking about a deal that doesn't exist.
You know, there are a lot of very
Exactly. Concepts of a negotiation.
important details to figure out that we're actually going to sit at the table and discuss together and figure out a path forward on these details.
Why couldn't we do this before February 28th? Why? Why couldn't we sit at the table and do this before? Because they were. They were already sitting at the table. We heard from the Oman foreign minister who said that they were willing to do these things already. But it's fine because Tapper now talks to Vance. And apparently there was a cool thing that we got out of this. You know, 14 service members dead, hundreds of Iranian schoolgirls killed, billions of dollars in money, not only that we spent in equipment use over there that we now have a depleted stockpile. Thanks for that. But also the billions that Americans are now spending each year because of gas, what we have spent in gas that didn't need to happen. But it's okay because we got a cool thing out of it. What was that, Vance?
Jake, for 47 years. This country has been a thorn in our side. It's been kind of a basket case for Democrat and Republican administrations. The coolest thing about the progress we've made over the last few weeks is that you see people within the Iranian system, senior leadership, even IRGC officials say, you know what? We may have some animosity, we may have some mistrust, but we recognize the way that we've done business with the United States for 47 years is a mistake. Let's try something else.
Like diplomacy? Are you telling me, JD Vance, that the coolest thing to come out of this was the friends we made along the way? Is that what we're doing now? They were already willing to do this. Diplomatically, they were willing to do this. You're saying, oh my God, they're coming to the table now. They were at the table before. You bombed the table. And now had to bring in a new one for them to come to. It's interesting. I'll let him finish his little statement in just a minute, but can I get W's to Steve, to Fax? Thank you, Fax, for the 618. Why do you hate me? The 618, you said, I think you're being a little too harsh. This is what's referred to as negotiation foreplay. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I didn't know that MAGA and Republicans knew what foreplay was, so I'm actually impressed. Didn't know they knew what foreplay was. Guys, only safe silicone, okay? Only safe lube. Let's make sure we're doing that. Did you just do the math for me? You're probably right. I know. Yes, thank you so much, 649. Thank you for doing the math for me. I hate it here. Y'all torture me. You know what the equivalent of that is? If you've ever worked in food, you know. When people pay in cash and they throw their change at you, that's just what I imagine. It's just throwing. Yes, and remember your safe word. No longer than 2 syllables. If your safe word's longer than 2 syllables, it's not a good safe word. Okay? Okay, let's make sure we're doing that.
We're going to verify that, of course, but we're certainly willing to try something else if they comply. Jake.
Okay, if they're diplomatic. Bananas is too long. Andrea, yeah, I do. I have lots of tattoos.
America, great. Oh, that's too long too.
I hate that one.
MAGA. I mean, guys, that's not our safe word. I want you guys to know that.
It's not our safe word. As soon as you say meh, I'd probably be over. I'd be like, no. Get off. I'm getting off. Yeah. Oh, Hubbub asked about it too. So I guess to be fair, my tattoos, I have a lot. I have quite a few. This says this too shall pass. These are my kids' names, which is why they're mostly covered. And it is a rose and a columbine. I have, the, lotus flower with the Om symbol. I had the, god Ganesh. Or Ganesha. I've heard it said both ways, but Ganesha. I also have a giant mermaid on my thigh that you can't see because I'm in fully covered black leggings. But yeah, and I'm not done. But a bitch can't afford tattoos. So, you know, whatever. So then they're having a hard time convincing people, right? Now, even Brett Baier, speaking on Fox News, is having a hard time believing the words of Donald Trump and JD Vance now. That is where we're at. Links in bio is crazy. So let's listen to that. These are Fox News taint glazers, and yet here they are going, the things that they're saying, I don't know if I can believe anymore. Jerry, you said I'm beautiful, but I'm wrong on so many things. Jerry, you have been in my chat for the last couple weeks, and I appreciate you being a fan. I appreciate the support. Make sure you do your thumbs up, Jerry. But you never call in. And even if you can't call in, I understand, but be in the chat and tell me what I've been wrong about with proof, please.
You hear what the president says. He says their Navy is at the bottom of the water. The Air Force is done. They've been degraded in missiles. However, we see Iranian missiles fire at U.S. bases and fire at ships.
So again, we've talked about this. I'm glad they're talking about it now on news stations that you guys watch and listen to, because you guys don't listen to me. But here we go. He's saying exactly what I've been saying. Donald Trump and the administration has come out and said that we have destroyed their ability to have missiles. We've destroyed their ability to use them, and yet our ships keep getting struck by missiles. Why should I believe anything that they say?
They're saying that the strait's going to be open completely. Iran says something differently in how they talk about it.
So again, keep talking about this is deal after deal after deal. The strait's going to be open. Donald Trump, truth. I showed you those yesterday. He truth that the strait is open, and then he said it will be open after Friday. Vance came out and said it is open. Which one is it? Because Iran is saying no, it's not.
They're talking about still controlling the strait. And so the question I think the president may be discussing with our G7 partners is whether we can independently control the strait ourselves going forward so that Iran cannot in the future extort us.
Well, you've given them carte blanche to do so. You've given them the realization that they absolutely can shut down the strait at any moment and disrupt the global economy. We've seen that now. Can I get W's to Anonymous? Anonymous sent 666. Hail Satan. You said, I started the decimal. I should end it. Laugh out loud. So thank you so much. And I also have ND Chewy, who sent me the 649 to finish it off. Both of you, thank you so much for helping to finish that off, to finish me off today. It wasn't Olive, but she did start me off. So she, she got the engine revving and you guys finished. And so I appreciate that so much. Gets us our goal accomplished today. W to you guys. And it's only barely 11 o'clock. So love that. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it so much more than you know. Again, this is my job. It's what I do for a living. So I appreciate all donations that come my way because it does help me pay my bills. Yesterday, I used it to pay water. That's, that's what it is. So thank you. Thank you, Cormo. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Few more things in Iran here. One of our objectives, as far as I know, because that's what we were told from the administration, right? The administration said one of our main objectives was to get the enriched nuclear material, as we are now calling it dust, out of Iran. We may have obliterated, according to Trump, their nuclear program when we did Midnight Hammer in June of last year, but they still had nuclear dust, and we needed to get that, right? Well, oh my God, Oya, thank you. We've already played a video before I played it. God, how has it been now? 2 weeks maybe? Where he said that we really only need to, Jesus criminy, Oya. Guys, I want to see huge W's to Oya, please, for knocking those gifts out. Please. If I don't see huge W's to Oya, I'm going to be very, 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 very mad. But I played a video of Donald Trump saying that only from a PR standpoint do we need to get the dust. Even though that was one of our main objectives, was to get the dust. And now, here's Donald Trump again. This was literally yesterday because he's at the G7 over here saying that we don't need it. I don't think we need it. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Thank you. I love you so much. Guys, huge W's. Huge W's. I'm seeing them. Thank you. Thank you. Oya deserves her flowers. Oh, get in reality, y'all. Ruben! Bye, Ruben. I'm so sorry, Ruben. Guys, real quick. Sorry, I had to take a little break from that video. Real quick. Ruben Sandwich was in here again. Used his one and only comment of the day to say, get in reality, y'all. Just so you know, Ruben is muted almost in perpetuity. We just keep increasing that number, and I love you all for that. And the reason why is because... Oh, he got 2 comments today? Oh, no. And the reason is because we do this. 2 comments today? Oh, he got 2 comments today? Oh, no. And the reason why is because... Oh, he got 2 comments today? Oh, no. And the reason why is because we do this. 2 comments today? Oh, no. And the reason why is because we do this. 2 comments today? Oh, no. And the reason is because we do this.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone who's spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted and contribute to their degradation kink. But remember, while we don't kink shame, it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
Eli.
keep
Oh, yeah.
them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. Pay links in the bio.
So anyway, bye sandwich. See you sometime in the next couple months, probably. Real quick, one of my favorite insults that I get, Ducks Y said, "Give those eyes a break." Ming, why? You don't like my very expressive theater eyes? You don't like that? I love that. So, cry.
His first one was, "It's about maintaining a strong presence in the Middle East. Don't mute intelligence, y'all."
We're not supposed to be the world police. We
all
aren't supposed to
Oya's
be in the
hearts.
Middle East. That was the whole thing from Republicans, is we weren't going to be in the Middle East anymore, right?
Yeah, all Oya's hearts were blocking it, so he got in too before I found his ass.
Well, we got him. That, that'll do it. I might re-record that. I think it sounds great, Eli, but that's...
Hey, Sparky, I have a gift gallery.
Oh my God, go away.
No, just
W's to Andrea for the $2. You said, "Hey, it was me who asked about your tattoos. I'm a tattooed girly myself, so I always love seeing others' art. Love you and your lives. Keep kicking fascist ass." W, Andrea, thank you so much. I appreciate I call it a two-two twain. Choo-choo. So thank you so much. Yeah, no. And as you know, as a tattooed girly yourself, the tattoos are not cheap. So... We'd be trying. I have a great artist who gives me really good deals, but then that means I tip him extra, so I'm pretty much paying the same amount anyway, because love him. So again, Donald Trump said we need to go get the dust, but then he said we don't need to go get the dust. It was one of our core objectives, was that they were going to get the nuclear enriched dust, and yet here we are again at the G7 saying, I guess that we don't need it.
So the Atomic Energy just reported that it was one of the most devastating bombings that they've ever seen. The whole mountain collapsed on top of it. And frankly, to go get it, we're going to go get it. But to go get it is a big deal. Because they say only China and us have the equipment where you can even get. The whole mountain is collapsed on top. We have cameras on it. You could make the case, why are you even bothering? Because it's not really valuable. It's, it's probably half.
It's not valuable? I thought we needed to go get it. I thought that was the whole thing. So we bombed them, but they still had enriched nuclear material, dust, and that we needed to go get it. Now we don't need it? We're gonna go get it, but we don't need it. Interesting.
$1 million worth. It's not very valuable stuff, but I think psychologically we want to get it.
Who, Justin, Arturo, who are you trying to mute? Yeah, his speech slurring is getting bad. Arturo, who are you trying to mute? Thank you, Z-Spark. Yeah, go ahead, Justin. Pull the, go ahead. Send it. I don't give a fuck. I'll use his super chat for that. I know it wasn't explicitly for that, but I will.
I just wanted to come up and say a quick goodbye to everyone before Oya pays $100 to permaban me.
You wouldn't be perma. Well, what did Blue got rid of you for that week, right? Where you couldn't come on the panel for a week.
Yeah. So either Sparky's 20 for a week or Oya's 100. I'm just waiting here for proof of funds.
100 for you to what? Never show up again?
What'd you say?
For you to never show up again?
Yeah, I guess I'm gone. If Oya sends it, I don't think she's about it though.
You leave her alone. She just spent a shit ton in gifts. You leave Oya alone. W's to Z-Spark for the corgis as well. Corgi butts. Go away. Men doing man things. But again, are we supposed to get this dust or not? No? Okay. Glad we could cover that. What is this deal? I'm still waiting. What are we getting out of this? So Trump is then asked, hey, are you going to release the text from this document? Again, I don't even know why we're asking that because it doesn't sound like we have a document. As JD Vance keeps repeating, he keeps saying that I don't think JD Vance keeps saying negotiations. We're going to negotiate that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to negotiate that. We're going to negotiate that. So I don't even know why we're asking for text, but release some of it. What is it?
In the text of the document, why not release the
Oh, I will.
Why not release it?
Well,
before
because
Friday?
I'd like to get a formal setting first before we do that. But I have no problem with that. It's a good document. Here's what it says. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. That's what it says. It won't have.
Does it say that? Because you haven't released it, so how do we know that? He's looking terrible, by the way. Love that for him.
Have one to buy, to develop. They will not have a nuclear weapon. And I would say that's about 99.9% of what I wanted, because we couldn't.
Oh, so what we had with the JCPOA is that they couldn't have a nuclear weapon? So what we already had in the deal that you tore up? Okay.
Let that happen. You couldn't let that happen. And they won't have a nuclear weapon. Now, in addition to that, the Strait is going to be open toll-free. And it's toll-free beyond the 60 days. It's not, somebody said, oh, it's toll-free for, no. It's toll-free, period.
The document.
Again, where's that? Where's that text? We haven't seen that. And even JD Vance didn't say that. JD Vance said we're going to negotiate that part. Yes, it's going to be toll-free, but we're going to figure it out, right? That was the video we saw. It's going to be toll-free. We're going to figure it out.
Why not release the
Oh, I will.
Why not release it
Well,
before
because
Friday?
I'd like to get a formal setting first before we do that. But I have no problem with that. It's a good document. Here's what it says. Iran will never have a nuclear.
Sure. We'll see. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. You guys have been telling me, for years, since 2017, we'll see. I guess we get to say it now because I don't know that I believe it. This is former general, he's still general, but he was part of the administration. Do we now remember he was pushed and got fired from Pete Hegseth? This is Keene, and he's on Fox talking about the fact that this money that we're talking about, this $300 billion, they are trying to push it as saying that it is from Qatar, it's from the Gulf nations, so it's not that big of a deal because it's not American money or the US dollar. But the problem is that shouldn't matter because that means you're sending Iran $300 billion regardless for them to use. And I thought if they were such a threat as we see them being, why would we want them to have this much money at all?
The funding is real. There's a $300 billion investment fund. Who cares where the money comes from? If it doesn't come from the United States, I get that. Of course it shouldn't. But it shouldn't come from anybody. I mean, when we recovered Germany and Japan, the Nazis weren't in charge. The Japanese imperialists weren't in charge. Here, the Iranians are in charge.
So what he's saying, which is true, right? It was not the Nazi regime still in charge after World War II. It was not the Japanese imperials who were still in charge when we left World War II. In this, it's still the IRGC. We didn't change anything. Yes, you took out his dad. You now have him, who is said to be even more hardline than his father. You didn't change anything. What did that give us?
Killers and thugs are still in charge. We don't give them that money because what are they going to do with it? They're going to recover everything we've taken away from them. Who cares whether it's coming from the Arabs, from the Qataris, or whatever? They don't get it. They shouldn't get any of it. That's just the reality of
Vice
it. They're going to
President-
take that money and recover everything. And you know that, Sean. You know that you can't trust these people.
I don't trust the Iranians. I'm a trust but verify guy. But I heard the vice president say they don't get anything unless they do those things. They get nothing until they do something. It's not our money. And they never signed off, he said, on any deal for Qatar to give them a penny. Now, he said they would open the door if Arab countries want to invest down the road, but that's if they start fulfilling the promises that they're talking about having committed to. Listen, you know what, General, I think.
Now, if we want them to fulfill the promises, which I hope we would want because we would want this war to be over, that means that it opens them up to be receiving money, and that was General Keene's point. The point is that if they follow through, they will get this money. Hi, Oya. Oh, no, bye, Oya. What happened? I didn't do that. Did somebody do that? No. Maybe she didn't mean to come up. Maybe she just fell. Yeah, you can't trust these people. Okay. And then I have one last thing on Vance. It has nothing to do with Iran, but that's not what that was. That's not where that goes. Damn it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I retweeted, did I not? Okay, there. I'll use this one.
Guys,
That's not the
keep
right
that.
link. Sorry.
No, you're fine, guys. Keep tapping that screen to the like, do all the wonderful things. If you are over there on the tube, make sure you guys scroll down and hit that little like button. There should be no reason why. Hold on, I'm refreshing the page to make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Okay, well, at least do a little bit more. There's 55 people and there's only 42 likes. Now there's 43. Make sure you guys are hitting that little like button at the bottom of your screen. Make sure you turn on that bell and do all the fantastic things.
Thank you so much. Guys, over here on TikTok, thank you for 100,000 likes. We're at 108,000 likes now. It changed just as I said that. Thank you guys so much for working those fingers out. I appreciate it. That means I know we can hit 200,000 before we end today. You guys are doing fucking fantastic in here. I am so appreciative. It must be the titties on this Tuesday just getting you motivated, and I appreciate that. I wasn't sure because the sunburn be sunburning, but thank you guys so much for the support. Okay, found the video. JD Vance went on The View. I don't know why. I don't know why we entertain The View at all anymore, but here we are. He went on The View to talk about, and he's asked, about the fact that Trump said, "I love the inflation." We played that here. Everybody's trying to add context to it, and JD Vance is no different.
So President Trump has called affordability a hoax. He said that, not me. He's
Look at that face. That's the. I know he did. No, I don't know how to explain that. It's just the fucking smile. He did say that. It's really hurting us in the midterms, I know.
So President Trump has called affordability a hoax. He said that, not me. He's pouring money into this ballroom of his and the reflecting pool. Oh, don't.
We will talk about the ballroom.
Forget the Arch de Trompe, I call it. And a White House cage match. All these things. Why is he doing them when you just, everybody knows that Americans are struggling? What is he spending all this money for?
Well, I got to defend the president on the hoax point. What the president said is the idea that Republicans caused the affordability problem is a hoax. And I think that's true. If you go back to the Biden administration, inflation.
What about Biden?
Sorry.
Got up to 9% under the Biden administration.
What was it when he left, JD? JD, what was inflation when Joe Biden left? If you want to count December, we can say 2.9. If you want to count January, we can say 3.0. What is it now? 4.2. Okay.
Okay. Right now it's at 3.5%. By the way.
No, it's not. This was from this morning. No, the fuck it's not. What? Handy dandy notebook. It's 3.5. 3.5. Is it? Is it 3.5? It's not 3.5. I'm sorry, what's that? What? No. Oh, was this 3.5? No, that wasn't 3.5 either. Okay. Cool. Glad we got that squared away, JD.
Inflation got up to 9% under the Biden administration. Okay. Right now it's at 3.5%. By the way, too high. We're doing everything that we can to bring it back down to 2.
No, it's not. Why do you let him lie to you? Why do you let him lie to you? The BLS came out with the report. It is 4.2%. The month before that, it was 3.8%. What are we doing here?
2.5%, which is where most people would like to see it. But we inherited an affordability problem. We're doing a lot to make it better. It's going to take
except people can't afford things right now.
A little bit of time. There's a lot more work to do. But the president knows that a lot of Americans are struggling. In fact, he ran on that.
Arturo, I just played you video after video. You're saying he might have a head start on us due to the signing of a deal. No. 3.5 sounds about right if he's a couple days into a deal. Arturo, inflation is done by month. Inflation is done by month. We're not going to see that. Okay. Let's say the MOU, by the way, it is not a deal that's being signed on Friday. It is a memorandum of understanding that they are going to get to a deal. Let's say they sign a deal next month, July. Okay? You are not going to see the maybe, if that's what's affecting the inflation, you're not going to see the benefit of that until, let's say they sign the deal early July. You're not going to see the benefit of that until August. Middle July, late July, you're not going to see the benefit of that until September. That he's not ahead of inflation because he can't be ahead of inflation. That is numbers. No, it actually wouldn't. We saw that with COVID. As much as, so here, I'll show you, Arturo. No, so here, let's go to post-pandemic, right? So we went from 1.7, we started increasing, right? 2.6 to 4.2, that's a jump. And then we kind of steadily increased, right? Steadily increased to that 9% number they all talk about. Did we decrease quickly? Or did we decrease kind of at scale? Excuse me. We didn't decrease quickly either, because that's not how that works with inflation. Inflation, it's very similar to gas prices, actually. I will, Oya, 1 second. It's very similar to gas prices, actually. They increase very rapidly. They come down relatively slowly. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll bring you back to JD Vance just a minute. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Well, how do I do this? That's a crazy gift, by the way. I need huge W's before she goes through security. Huge W's to Oya for the $100 to get rid of my husband. She sent the GIF that says, "You're free now, run." Says, "You're free now, run as fast as you can." W's to Oya. No, I can't. What do you want? What?
All right, bye, bitches.
Go away. Huge fucking W's to Oya. I'm free. I'm a free woman. Holy crap. To ban my husband is insane. What am I supposed to do with him? What am I supposed to do with him? What do I do with my husband? What am I supposed to do with him?
Have him sleep outside.
Oh man, I could do that. Jeez. Wow. I guess I gotta move this over here now. That's what just happened. Google, what do I do with my husband? I'm scared of what that's gonna. You know what? We're gonna do it. I promise, we're still gonna finish this.
I'm already 20 steps ahead of you.
Did you Google it? I'm scared of what this is gonna say. That's gonna put me on a list. Oh, this is, look at the, oh, you guys can't see it. The filler. It says, "What do I do with my husband's car when he died?"
So I'm seeing try axe throwing, virtual reality arcades, or an escape room. Go to maybe I should what to do with my husband after someone paid.
I want to say like after he's gone, but then it's gonna think he's dead, and he's not dead. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. So again, JD Vance is lying to you. I don't know why you let them lie to you.
I know, I can't say this. Let me screenshot this to you real quick. Hold on.
Why do you let him lie to you? I'm on another list. Yeah, probably. Oh, yeah.
Americans are struggling. In fact, he ran on that. He talked about it, and we've done some things and made some good progress on that point.
He just said he loves the inflation.
What he said, Anna, what he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down when this war is over.
That's not what he said. What he said was, "I love the fact the inflation's going to come down when this war is over." He didn't say that. That's not what he said. He said, "I love the inflation. I love it." And then he pivoted to stuff about festivals that I'm not allowed to talk about on TikTok anymore. We watched the video. We watched it. It's what got me taken down. Yeah, I love when they translate. I love when they translate stuff.
That's what he said.
That wasn't a direct. Are you his, wait, are you his interpreter or are you his vice president? Come on.
Well, look. What the president said. People were asking about the inflation. They were asking about the affordability problem, which again is very real. And what he said is, "I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over." And
He didn't say that. Again, never came out of his mouth. He did not say that. Why do you guys keep fucking pretzeling and trying to figure these things out? I don't think TSA will let you go through without signs of life. Fine. He has to be around for July because we're going to San Diego. But other than that, I don't want to talk about it. But what... I can't say it out loud either. But what Olive sent with what she searched, it seems like I have to call trusted adults in law enforcement.
I literally typed, what do I do with my husband after someone paid to have him gone?
Oh yeah, no, that's you're on a list now somewhere too.
Have him off of my panel. I should specify.
They know what that means either.
Your
Some lady,
options
okay.
depend heavily on why he was removed. Oh.
Loki, you said some lady on the internet knows more of what Trump said than the VP. Okay, well then let's do this. We'll take the time. I don't mind. Trump, I love inflation. Let's see if he said what JD Vance said he said. Here, let me bring JD Vance back. Let me get to that part.
The inflation.
what he said, Anna, what he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down. Said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down when this war is over. That's what he said.
That wasn't a direct. Are you his, wait, are you his interpreter or are you his vice president? Come on.
Well, look. What the president said. People were asking about the inflation. They were asking about the affordability problem, which again is very real. And what he said is, "I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over."
Okay. What he said is, "I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over." Is that what he said?
Sure, the right people come into our country.
I will.
I will.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, you know, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships late at night with no.
So again, remember, I'll keep playing it until he pivots to festivals because then I have to stop. JD Vance said what he said was, when the war is over, inflation will come down. It sounds like he started that sentence, right? He said once the war is over, but now we're talking about ships. So again, where did he say this?
No lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look. Remember when I did this, I said, look, the one bad thing will be, we hit the best economy we've ever hit. And I said to my people, I had Scott, I had Howard, I had Pete, I had all of them. I had Todd in the room. I said, the one thing we have to do now, we had just hit the highest stock market in history, highest 401ks in history. Everything was going well. And I said, I hate to do this to you guys, but Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon very soon. We have to go and attack. So we hit them with the B-2 bombers.
Where was what JD Vance said he said? Just a... So, do I know more than JD Vance? It's not that I know more than JD Vance. JD Vance is lying to you. Jade, you said you understand that by giving maggots and trolls a space to debate, you are empowering them by treating their views as if they're worthy of discussion, allowing them to get their eyes on the movement. Fascists lie and do so obviously and shamelessly as a method of showing strength, and you are playing the game they want you to play. No, Jade, because whether we... to me, that's like saying, I'm going to be honest, to me, that's like saying ignore racism and it won't exist anymore. Don't talk about it and racism goes away. Their views don't go away just because I don't talk to them. which, by the way, this is the most phone calls I've had in, what, 4 days? 4 days? They didn't call me, like, at all last week. They didn't call me yesterday at all. I haven't had callers. So actually, no, I'm really just talking about what's going on in the country, Jade. I understand your position. I understand what you're saying. They're going to have these views regardless of whether I talk to them about it or not. They're going to vote on these views whether I talk to them about it or not. That's the problem. I'm trying to break it down to them and show them that these people are openly now just lying to their face, openly, provably lying to their face. I'm trying to get them to understand that because they're going to vote that way regardless of what I say and regardless of whether I talk to them or not. Okay. Where'd Loki go? I know that. I'm very aware. That's why I run my debates differently. I don't even call them debates, Jade. I call them conversations, and I hold them to what they're saying. I don't let them gish gallop all over the place. They have to prove the things that they say to me, and we will sit here until they do that when I talk to people. But that's just how I run it. Okay. We're going to go to this fraud, waste, and abuse section. We have a WAPO exclusive. We've got new reporting coming out. If only somebody would have told you. Records reveal $600 million estimate for Trump's ballroom project with half from taxpayers. Uh-oh. We're going to read this. But I just want to talk about the history of this, right? Now, remember. Donald Trump was going to rebuild the ballroom. It was going to cost $200 million that he was going to fund personally. Then it increased to about $250 million that was getting privately funded. That then increased to $300 million, which then increased to $400 million that he said was going to be privately funded. Only privately funded. Law of the Wild, it is Titties Out Tuesday. Welcome. He said it was going to be privately funded. It increased to about $400 million. This is excluding the $1 billion that Congress was trying to fund from us. Thank you so much, Peter.
Oh my God, I have crabs.
The $1 billion that Congress was trying to, that got struck down by the parliamentarian, that they were trying to put forth for security. That would have been our tax dollars. But apparently the estimate is increased now to $600 million, half of which is going to be taxpayer money. So let's talk about that. 5 months after the demolition of the White House's East Wing, President Donald Trump claimed that the project to construct a massive ballroom and a bunker in its place would cost up to $400 million and that private donors would pay for all of it. This is taxpayer free. I've turned up my mic and I keep doing it. This is taxpayer free. We have no taxpayer putting up 10 cents, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office on March 31st, describing the project as including bomb shelters and major medical facilities. But a detailed project summary prepared for the White House by the contractor more than 3 weeks before Trump's comments estimated the total construction cost at $600 million, with more than half coming from taxpayers, according to a copy of the contractor estimate obtained by the Washington Post. By the time Trump made his comments in March, the federal government had already approved more than a dozen payments to the contractor overseeing the work, Clark Construction totaling tens of millions of dollars in public funds, according to a log of the contractor's invoices obtained by the Post. Since first announcing the East Wing project last July, Trump has repeatedly said that the price tag would not exceed $400 million and that private donations routed through a nonprofit would cover its entire cost. At other times, he said that the Secret Service and the military would contribute security enhancements without elaborating on the price of those upgrades. Multiple project summaries provided to the White House by Clark Construction show that internal cost estimates have been significantly higher than administration officials have acknowledged in public comments or court filings. They also show that the work was projected to rely heavily on taxpayer dollars from the moment it was announced. The White House did not answer questions about the internal cost estimates or taxpayer funding. Quote, President Trump and generous American patriots are funding the ballroom to the tune of approximately $400 million, which will be a secure and appropriate venue for presidents for generations to come, White House spokesman Davis Engel wrote in a statement. A spokesperson for McLean, Virginia-based Clark Construction, said all project details are confidential and referred questions to the White House. The Post obtained 6 cost estimates for the entire East Wing project dated from July 2025 to March of this year that show an increasing price tag as well as the expected sources of funding. Those records, as well as invoice logs and correspondence, provide the clearest accounting yet of Trump's most ambitious construction project in the nation's capital. Hi, friend. How are you?
I just want to make sure the phones are working. You said no one's calling, so I just wanted to see what the fuck's what.
They're still working. How have you been?
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
He's such an in and out person. I love that.
I do love that.
He's
Hope you're
great.
doing well, friend.
I hope the summer's doing well up in Minnesota.
So let's see. Let's see what people are saying. Yeah, like most of you saying, I see Jay Bunky said it. The issue we had originally, even if it was privately funded, one, you didn't do this through Congress, which is one of our biggest issues, is you were supposed to get this approved by Congress. Two, the benefits that these companies are now getting from the administration, which we did. We read the entire Washington Post article on that, right? The contracts that were being given out by the government to these corporations after they donated to this project, and also the benefits to the president, him investing in the companies that he then gave DOD or whatever contracts, government contracts to, right? It is the scheme's in front of your face. I don't know why you can't see it. The project is deeply unpopular with most Americans, and even some Republican lawmakers have balked at funding it. When the White House first announced the plan to build a ballroom on July 31st, 2025, it said in a news release that contributions from Trump and other Patriot donors would cover the cost of the project, which said it would be $200 million. The White House added that the United States Secret Service would provide the necessary security enhancement and modifications. There was no mention of an underground military bunker, which he is now saying it is. The records obtained by the Post show that the administration and Clark worked hand in hand starting last June to determine the scope and cost of construction. White House officials received a preliminary estimate dated July 11th, projecting that construction would cost $270 million, with over $100 million coming from taxpayers through the Secret Service and White House Military Office, the records show. Emails from that time show that administration officials plan to use $3.6 million of Secret Service money to cover initial expenses for site preparation before demolition. A White House lawyer explained in an email to colleagues on July 30th that she had added a line to contract language, quote, to tie the project more closely to security-related issues since USSS, U.S. Secret Service, is providing the funding. Quote, we believe this edit is important to comply with fiscal law principles, wrote Caroline C. Hunter, general counsel in the White House Office of Administration. Hunter did not respond to messages seeking comment. More than $1.6 million in Secret Service funds was also budgeted to cover part of the demolition itself, according to a cost estimate. The U.S. Secret Service did not provide answers to questions before publication of this report. 3 contracting and procurement experts who reviewed the documents that the Post requested the demolition of the East Wing appeared to fall outside the scope of the Secret Service's mission of protecting government leaders. That is a stretch, said Anthony Costa, a former General Services Administration official who oversaw complex government real estate projects during a career that spanned 4 presidential administrations. How is that something Secret Service should do and fund? On October 22nd, in the same week Clark began demolishing the East Wing, Trump told reporters that the price had risen to $300 million. He said that the military was involved, but that the project would be paid for 100% by me and some friends of mine. So again, so far, remember, I gave you a quick summary of the timeline before we started reading it. Have I been wrong about anything yet? No? Okay. So I don't think that I'm going to be wrong about this being true, that they're using taxpayer money to fund it, and you guys got duped once again. Wake up. However, a project summary dated October 20th, the day of the demolition began, shows that Clark expected the full project to cost $478 million $478 million. Taxpayers were expected to fund nearly half of that, the documents show. Speaking at the White House in December, Trump said the cost could reach $400 million. We're donating a building that's approximately $400 billion, he said. By March, Clark had informed the White House that the projected cost had increased to $600 million. A project summary dated March 5th shows that nearly half of that, $293 million, was expected to come from private sources. The estimate said an additional $155 million would come from Secret Service, $149 million from the White House Military Office, and $3 million from the executive residence, all sources funded by taxpayers. That month, the administration acknowledged that the project included underground security features, including what Trump has described as a hospital. We played those videos for you when he was outside of the demolition and reconstruction during that time. A court issued an injunction in March, pausing construction above ground but allowing work to continue on the secure underground bunker after a historic preservation group filed a lawsuit arguing that the White House had failed to seek necessary reviews, which was our issue in the first place. You need congressional review for this. In April, an alleged would-be assassin attempted to access the White House Correspondents Association dinner before he was apprehended by law enforcement. Within days, the administration said that rebuilding the East Wing, including the ballroom, was a national security imperative. Except apparently it's not that dangerous for him to go to a Knicks game, UFC fights, to host UFC fights on the White House lawn out in the open. I guess that was okay. Although Kash Patel is already saying that they foiled the plan for the UFC fight. But, sure. How many more times can we believe that? Trump and some elected Republicans said a new ballroom could more securely host events like the Correspondents' Dinner. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina and others introduced legislation that would have authorized $400 million in spending to upgrade the presidential ballroom and strengthen the White House's security infrastructure. 7 Republican senators joined Democrats to block the idea. President Trump indicated that the ballroom was going to be built with private donations, said Senator Susan Collins, Republican of Maine, one of the senators who opposed it. I think that's the commitment that should be kept. In May, with the legislative proposal pending, Trump provided reporters with another update showing off the construction site and saying all parts of the project were intertwined. Quote, "This is one well-knit building. One thing doesn't work without the other." This time, the president made more of a distinction over who would pay for each part of the structure. The government would pay for part of the construction of the new East Wing, he said, describing that work as for the security of that and the whole White House premises, so we're paying for it. They have a budget in Secret Service and the military to do some of the work that you see right here, so we're paying for it. The ballroom itself, he said, is not going to be paid for by the taxpayer. This is a gift to the United States of America. So we're not paying for the above-ground pretty little ballroom, according to him. But that's not what we're getting from this information. We're building all the stuff underneath where he said he's going to have a conference room, a hospital, a military hospital, a drone port, and a military bunker. Why does he need that? At the White House? Why does he need that? Why do we need that at the White House? I'm just waiting, MAGA. Could it be because he's planning on not leaving? Could it be that? Maybe. The Secret Service and the White House Military Office have long held roles in securing the White House complex for the president, his family, and staff members. The 3 experts who reviewed documents related to the project said it was appropriate for the Secret Service and the WHMO to pay only for parts of the project that fall within their mission. Trump said some security spending would go toward defenses, including the greatest drone empire to protect Washington on the building's roof. Did I lie? Nope, didn't. But the experts also said the project documents contradicted the administration's statements claiming that the East Wing would be paid for by donors. Stan Soloway, a former Pentagon acquisition official who is board chair at the National Academy of Public Administration, said that from a contracting and budget perspective, quote, "you can't disentangle the entertainment space from all the other parts that are in there." He said it was clear from the documents that taxpayers are footing the bill for parts of the ballroom. Quote, "I think it's inevitable that it bleeds over. It's one structure." Well, we're paying for it, just like we said. We told you. I don't know why you didn't listen. Now you're yelling about trans children because you know that what we said is what we said. Even though we have a myriad of videos, I didn't even get any because I don't see the point that you can look them up yourself. They're all over the place of him saying it was going to be privately funded. Why do you let him lie to you? Laughing my ass off. Does it matter? Yes, because nobody voted for that tender. Nobody voted to pay for his fucking ballroom. He didn't campaign on tearing down the ballroom. None of that. This is the wall all over again. Yeah, it is. But it's even worse because the corporations that did provide him money, did that money even go towards the fucking ballroom? Or did it just go in his pocket for him to give them contracts from the government? There's underground on all government buildings. We don't need to pay for it. We didn't ask for it. We did not ask for this. And go through Congress then. Congressionally get it approved before you use my tax money for it. How about that? Yeah, where? You got duped, motherfucker. That's not my fault. All right. Let's get to a few portions on Rubio. While we're sitting here, we are at 145,000 likes. It is 11:33. So we're getting very close, guys. I know you can hit 200,000 likes over here on TikTok. So can you make sure that you are tapping that screen? Fill that little red like bar up one good time for me. I would appreciate it. And again, remember, I'm just helping you out for what your partners and what your fingers can do for your partners. So let's make sure that we are doing those things and using those fingers to their full potential, please. I do have the little finger hearts goal over here, guys. Can we start getting that accomplished? I would appreciate it. We have not been doing great on these little goals that I get, that we have not even really gotten past the 5 coin goals these last couple weeks, and I know we can do better doing that. If you have extra coins that you're willing to drop on a Gift gallery gift, I would appreciate it. Let's try and get this gift gallery accomplished. We have not been able to do that, and I always fall back down the rankings. So if you have an extra chunk of TikTok change that you can dump on that, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Let's start getting these little goals accomplished. As we're here, you guys knocked out my actual goal and then some. W's again, huge W's to Oya. Thank you so much. But we need to keep supporting in all the other ways. Thank you. Tie Stick, thank you for the gift over there on YouTube, guys. Remember, you can send super chats over there and jewels and fun little gifts over there as well. And if you are on Twitch, you can send bits and fun things. Don't forget, you can subscribe or become a member. You get access to emotes over there on Twitch, ones of my face. Same thing over here on TikTok. If you haven't sent your daily heart me, it gives you access to that as well. Thank you so much, Trademark, for completing that out. I appreciate you so much. So we'll keep going. And as Shannon, as you said, it's not his house. I think that's the point. The reason we care is because it doesn't belong to him. He thinks it belongs to him, and I have an issue with that personally. But that's just me. But I'm not a taint glazing MAGA, so. All right, so we're going to move on. I have a few clips from Rubio. These are old now, but he was in front of Congress, again, for budgetary reasons. These just didn't fit in because they were, we had stuff about Iran. These were not about Iran. So this is Rubio talking to Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia about the targeting criteria. Tim Kaine is asking Secretary Rubio about the targeting criteria used when we are targeting these boats in the Caribbean. Why? What is the list of criteria that we need for you to strike these boats? Because again, we still have issue with the boats that we are striking, that we're not getting evidence that they carry drugs, specifically the first one that we double tapped. We are still having issues within Congress about the information regarding that boat.
I want to ask you about Operation Southern Spear. The operation to strike boats in the Pacific and the Caribbean.
Real quick, Tie Stick, you said, yeah, but there's so much more to worry about. I would agree with you, except for the fact that what I'm worried about is the fact that Donald Trump is using his position to enrich himself and his friends off of our dime. And building a bunker scares the living fuck out of me. I'm sorry, because it seems like he's been the only person who refused a peaceful transfer of power and had a mob of people go towards the Capitol. So that just, leaves me a little concerned.
That dozens of operations have now killed more than 200 people. Have you been involved as Secretary of State or National Security Advisor in discussion about the targeting criteria that are used to decide which boats we should strike?
No, but not because I've avoided it, but because those are largely legal decisions, right? So
but if you haven't been involved in discussion, as the National Security Advisor, are you aware of what the targeting criteria are?
Yeah, I mean, they go through so every strike has a legal officer on the deck that has to make a determination about whether the call is legal or not. And this is done by the Department of War, the way it's been done in other theaters around the world.
Here's what I want to ask you about. So you're generally aware of the targeting criteria. I'm not allowed. I know what the targeting criteria are because of briefings I've had in this committee and the Armed Services Committee. It's all been in classified. And I'm not allowed to discuss the targeting criteria because they've only been shared and classified. But I don't think I'm prohibited from describing things that aren't targeting criteria. So I'll give you an obvious example. Everyone on the boat is right-handed. That's not a targeting criteria. It would be ridiculous.
Everyone on the boat is what?
Everybody on the boat is right-handed. That's not a targeting criteria. It's obviously not a targeting criteria. It would be improper for it to be a targeting criteria. Here's one that's not so obvious and that surprised me. There's evidence of narcotics on the boat. That is not a targeting criteria. I have been briefed on Southern Spear since the first operation on September 2 and most.
Now, excuse me. Now, why is having narcotics on the boat not a targeting criteria? We talked about it for months on this platform and on my friend's platforms, Olive's platform. We talked about this and talked about blowing up these boats and talked about the targeting criteria. Why is having narcotics not on the targeting criteria? Probably because we have laws that require us to stop and seize the boat. Nowhere in the law does it give us carte blanche to blow them up. We have to stop them. We have to seize the narcotics. We have to charge them with a crime, but we don't get to blow them up. I know you guys didn't know that because we've been arguing it for months.
For it to be a targeting criteria. Here's one that's not so obvious and that surprised me. There's evidence of narcotics on the boat. That is not a targeting criteria. I have been briefed on Southern Spear since the first operation on September 2 and most recently within the last couple of weeks, and I've asked again and again, have the targeting criteria changed? No, they have not. What are their criteria? Here's what they are. I can't describe it here. But the presence of narcotics on the boat has never been a targeting criteria. Would you have any ability to explain? And the administration could have picked that as a targeting criteria. They chose items that were targets, that authorized the use of the U.S. military to sink boats and kill people. But they have not used the presence of narcotics on the boat as one of the targeting criteria. And I would suggest to my colleagues, if you go look at the individual files of all the strikes, and I've looked at the first 46, they are consistent with what I've just said about something that's not on the list of targeting criteria. Why would the administration not include the presence of narcotics on the boat as a targeting criteria in Operation Southern Spear?
As you just outlined, I can't discuss the specifics of the targeting criteria, but I can tell you the one thing that is obvious is that the targeting criteria is not single source. In essence, there are multiple checks.
There are three elements to the targeting criteria.
Right. And all of it informed and infused by intelligence collection. In essence, they have to have true links.
Now, the thing that is frustrating, which is true of both Rubio and Kaine, which I appreciate is not violating OPSEC, is that they can't tell us. The targeting criteria that they use in these specific strikes is going to be classified information that probably gets released in a couple years with some sort of FOIA request, an investigation, hopefully. But what Tim Kaine is saying, which is the point, which is what you guys have been telling us and what the administration has been telling us, is that these boats were targeted because they had narcotics on them. That's it. That's all. The only reason. That they had narcotics on them. That's not a targeting criteria according to our own U.S. government. So now Rubio is saying that it was a multitude of other things. It wasn't just one single source of criteria. It was multiple sources of criteria. But again, narcotics on the boat is not enough for that determination.
I can tell you they do walk away from strikes. There are multiple times that I've been aware. I'm not aware of every strike because it's not reported on a regular basis. It's delegated. Yeah. But there have been strikes that they've walked away from because it doesn't meet the criteria or because there's doubts.
I'm not saying that the strikes that I've reviewed don't meet the targeting criteria, but I'm saying how odd it is, especially since the administration always announced this is against narco traffickers.
Exactly. That's the point, right? He's not saying that the strikes he's been briefed on didn't meet the targeting criteria. That's a different conversation, which we can get into if we get the information eventually, or the administration decides to be truthful with us. And we've always said that. If there's some sort of criteria that they're meeting for targeting that is something that is a danger to the national security of the United States, we can talk about that conversation. I'm not a huge fan of just murdering people, but let's have that conversation. But the problem is that the administration has said over and over and over and defended over and over and over in the headlines on Fox News that the narcotics were enough. That's it. We are fighting narco-terrorism. We are fighting narcotics being trafficked to the United States. That's not in the targeting criteria, so it's not enough for them to be blowing up boats for that. But the administration told you so, and you guys defended it for months. Marco Rubio is now saying something different in congressional hearings that you guys don't pay attention to that do not get headlines.
Attack narco traffickers. How odd it is that the presence of narcotics on a boat is not one of the targeting criteria. And I would encourage my colleagues, get the same briefing I've gotten, take a look at the strike files. You'll be as surprised as I am. Here's the second question.
Again, just to make you think. But Rubio was going to list it until Kaine said, I know I can't discuss targeting criteria. Like, you can't. Well, then maybe Rubio was going to violate OPSEC because you're not supposed to be releasing some of those things without briefs, and you have to be in a special place to do so. So that's interesting. So here is, and I'm going to butcher his name and I apologize. This is Representative Olszewski to Rubio talking about the increase in Trump's personal wealth. To look at the increase in his personal wealth after taking office the second time around. Does Rubio have any thoughts of that? Why is the president enriching himself in this office while the American people struggle? Okay, look at his chart. Here we go. Trump's net worth. Okay, here's his net worth. 2024, $2.3 billion. Here, after he is elected and takes office, we have jumped up. He has enriched himself by $4.2 billion in the course of him being in office. And you guys seem to be okay with that. No, I'm not jealous. I would just like for him to do things for the American people the way he is supposed to, not for himself.
As the president gets rich, his wars and tariffs are crushing hardworking American families. And I think the American people see through the BS.
How is this a lie? Look, he even cites the source, the definitive net worth of Donald J. Trump, Forbes. They're citing his net worth.
This is the most corrupt administration in American history.
Okay, you guys keep saying that. Tony Hype. You guys keep saying that to me. And again, I am open to information that I've never seen. So, Tony Hype, I'm going to ask you specifically. You said 2017 to 2020, he lost money, which is interesting because he was president until 2021. So, can we increase that to 2017 to 2021, he lost money? Can you give me a source for that, please? I'd love to see a source on that. Can you give me a Forbes article, some sort of article where they talked about Donald Trump's net worth and how he lost money during his initial term, his first term? Can you give me that? Because he didn't release his tax returns to us, remember? Those were leaked, and that person went to jail, which then he decided to sue the IRS for $10 billion for releasing his tax returns, which then he decided to settle, even though the judge didn't sign off to that settlement of a $1.776 billion slush fund of anti-weaponization that a lot of Jan 6ers were applying to. Now the judge is re-looking into that and saying, I think you duped the court and used the court for your own personal means. And it also issued a memo from DOJ that him, his family, and his businesses will never be prosecuted or audited for their tax returns, ever. So do you have information on that, Tony, where he lost money? Why is it every state with the most fraud are Democrat states? That's incorrect, Tie Stick. You should probably look into states like Florida. Maybe.
So, Secretary Rubio, earlier today you said you didn't know the facts about the president's financial dealings. I'm happy to share them if you want to see it.
No, actually, Tony, no. I don't remember Dems laughing that he lost money because we were disputing the fact that he lost money. Again, I am asking you for a source. You are giving me pithy comments. I would like to see a source, please.
Specifically, but having run through that, now that you do know.
Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hello? Hey, I voted for Trump.
Okay, can I get your age and your state, please?
33, New York.
All right. Why are you still supporting Trump?
I actually don't support Trump that much any longer, especially since his failed doings in Iran.
Okay. Why'd you call in today?
But I still love Trump as a person,
Why?
and I think he can be. He can receive retribution if he absolves himself of Benjamin Netanyahu right this moment and starts focusing on the American people.
What is there to love about him as a person?
Oh, nothing at all. He's just in a position of power at this point, and we have, it's the,
You just said you
least
still
of two
love
evils.
him as a person.
Oh, I mean, we're all God's children. I love you too.
Okay, but he is not repentant about anything that he does. He specifically said that he does not feel the need to ask for forgiveness. He is also a 34-count felon and an adjudicated rapist.
So that's why, after this, we'll see how he does by the end of the term. It's been pretty bad up till now, to see if he can switch over a new leaf, turn over a new chapter. But if not, he should be tried and hopefully sentenced and charged for life, hopefully.
What policy of his did you support that you voted him in on?
So he talked a pretty big game the second time around.
Sure.
Right? And I live in New York. We were doing pretty bad, pretty bad under the Democrats, like COVID. I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with Democrat or whatever. It just happened to be in their
COVID hit
hands.
everybody hard, and it hit New York really hard. Yeah.
So we were just out with the old, in with the new, I guess, and we effed up. We effed up big time. We effed around. We found out we don't like what's going on right now, and we're trying to jump back to the ship. Not the same ship, but we're just trying to jump back to some other ship,
Right. No, I would
away
agree
from
with you.
Trump's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to go back to establishment Democrats, but just something that's not that. No, I totally understand that. Are you planning to
Yeah.
vote in your midterms this year?
Yeah, I don't know who yet. I'm still looking up potentials. I don't know if you could clear that up.
Let's see.
Maybe.
When is
I mean,
the primary in New York? Did you guys have it already, or No, it looks like your primary is going to be June 23rd, which means, and your early voting is already started. So your primary elections are going to be June 23rd. So that's going to be when you get to vote for whatever candidate you want to go to November. So what I would advise you to do is you can Google your congressional district. They'll just they usually just ask you for your zip code to give you your congressional district. And then you can look up, you still have time to look up the candidates that are running in your area and see who better fits a vision of what you want to see for New York.
To be honest, I've stayed away from voting. I mean, I've only voted this once for Trump, unfortunately, which I hate myself for. But I don't find any of the candidates to be fit for the office they're running for most of the time, you know?
Well, that's why you have to
So
get deep in their policies, though. You have to see what they're running on versus what they say, right? Like they have debates, they have these things that happen before they hit their primaries, before they even hit the midterms. We're going to have another couple months worth of debates and conversations. That's why you really need to look into their policies and see if they are being backed by specific funding groups so that they're pushing forth those policies, right? Things like APAC and
APAC, I was just
right.
about to mention, yes.
So, see if they're taking PAC money. And if that means you don't vote for somebody because they're taking PAC money, don't vote for somebody who's taking PAC money. That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's really difficult. Like it's to the point where I'm gonna run, put my own name in or something like that.
And you could do that. You could.
Yeah,
That's what it's for, is
maybe
for
as a
if you
form
feel
of
like your voice
protest.
is not being represented, maybe you need to be that voice. You can do that.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna do that if I don't find anything that suits my needs.
Yes, I will say that you have probably run out of the deadline to be able to do that this year, but for the next round of voting in 2028, because there will be congressional votes again in 2028, you could definitely do that. Just make sure you look up when you have your deadlines, when you need to get signatures by.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any specific topic we're going on today, or just free winging it?
If you have one, it sounds like you're, relatively regretful of your vote for Trump and that he sold you a bill of goods that he didn't deliver on, which I would agree. So I guess it's it's up to you. I would just advise you to look into more, and it sounds like you're willing, and so I appreciate that.
Yes, no, for sure. Actually, I've been kept too up to date on the Iran talk deals. I heard there was something of an agreement, some sort of an agreement, but it hasn't been set in stone yet or something.
Yeah, so what they're saying is that they're going to sign a memorandum of understanding on Friday, and what that will do is then give them 60 days to negotiate a deal. So my concern is that a lot happens in 60 days, and we could have just been negotiating this whole time instead of striking them in February the way that we did.
Seems like they're just buying time. Have they mentioned if Lebanon will be part of that peace deal?
The U.S. and Israel says absolutely not. Pakistan and Iran say yes, it needs to be. So we're already not on the same page.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So we'll
Lord have mercy. Jesus,
I will keep
help
up
us.
to date
I
with
will
it as
say a
best I
prayer.
can, so I can give that information to you guys. Like I said, if you guys miss my shows, there's replays on Twitch and YouTube, and I will keep up to date with that as best that I can.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for everything you're doing for the American people, or people in general, all over the world. Trump is not somebody who we need to be supporting right now.
I agree. Well, thank you for calling in, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you for having me. God bless. Be safe. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate those nice conversations. Okay. What? Just like one of the Democrat leaders who says one thing, but she votes the total opposite, like defending the police. What? Y'all are having your own conversations in YouTube. I don't know what y'all be doing. Anyway, so again, getting back to this, where people are saying it's a lie, I'm still awaiting Tony for that information on Donald Trump losing money. I thought you only yell at ops. I know, Eli, sometimes I can be nice.
Right. Look, I can pretend to be an op.
No, I love you too much for that.
Guys, you can do better with those taps, though.
Come on, we need to hit 200,000. I know you guys can do it. So let's go. Work
Use
those
them
fingers.
thingies.
Work those fingers. So again, Donald Trump's net worth has increased. They're going to ask Marco Rubio about that.
Would you agree And do you have concerns about the fact this administration is in fact profiting from their position of power?
Well, first of all, what I said is the information you guys were putting up, including on this board, first, that's not in my purview as in the Department of State. And these are things you're producing. I don't know if they're accurate or not. But let me just say this. I've been in every foreign policy and national security meeting for the most part this administration has had. Not once, not a single time have I ever seen even the hint or the indication that any of the decisions being made are for the financial gain of anyone in the administration. Those are my observations. That's what I can speak to. I have not once seen a directive on our foreign policy or our national security policy that in any way indicates that it's being done to the benefit of anyone personally. That's what I've seen as a firsthand witness, and that's what I can testify to today.
With all due respect, Mr. Secretary, I may have to get you a new pair of glasses because the facts are right in front of you, and it's
Just like Tony, the facts are right in front of you. You said that I am ignoring it. So here's the last comment I read of yours before I had a phone call, which is, remember you Dems were laughing, he lost money. And I said, again, where's an article? And you said your next comment, okay, in between Justin talking to Tender Bullet, in between Dibuno, in between Tender Bullet getting muted, in between Kona, is your next comment is there. I sent you a Forbes, like you asked. What's the title of the Forbes article? And then we've got, after that, producer, Joseph, Douglas, Finn, Vikings, Tender Bullet got muted again, Dibuno, Kona, Dibuno, Joseph, Justin, Dibuno, Red Pharaoh, and then you telling me that I ignored you. So where's this Forbes article, Tony? I will hold you to that. I just hope you know that. We just spoke, did we not? Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Yes, I'm 39. I live in Oahu, Hawaii, and I voted for Trump.
Okay, why are you still supporting Trump?
Everything that he's doing, bruh.
Like
Getting
what?
that woke stuff out of politics. Like,
What
that
woke
stuff was
stuff?
just crazy, bruh. You know, like reading pedophile books to our children. Like,
What's
keep
a
that,
pedophile
that
book? I don't remember reading the Epstein birthday book to kids, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's just you. But
Mhm.
you want to read about stuff just about Trump that was just mentioned in the Epstein files, which showed that Epstein hated Trump.
Oh, well, I
But
know
you guys
he,
want to
I know
overlook
he
to
hated
Bill
him.
Gates.
No, I'm very aware.
Bill
I've read those
Gates,
emails
who-
that he didn't like him. That doesn't mean that Donald Trump didn't like Epstein. Epstein didn't like Trump. That's one way. Okay.
No,
And
Trump turned in Epstein.
where's the proof of
and
that?
That's crazy.
Can you give me proof of
What
that,
are you
please?
talking about, dude? Huh?
Give me proof of that, please. I would like an article.
What article? Your lying articles?
Give me an article that Donald Trump turned in Epstein.
Yeah, it's on there. You can look it
No,
for
you
yourself.
can go find that for me since it's not new, Shorvis. I've heard this before. So go
and
ahead
then
and give me
I
that
also
article.
seen that he.
Nope,
his,
go ahead and give me
his
that article.
felonies,
No, I will put you on hold. You seem to believe this, so I would like proof of it. So give me an article that Donald Trump turned
Yeah,
in Epstein.
look up the appeal court.
Nope. Appeals court? What? Find me that proof and you can call back, Hawaii. This is not new. They've been saying that he turned him in. What they're referring to, usually what they're referring to that they don't know because they don't look anything up, is actually after the investigation was made public of Jeffrey Epstein, he was called by a sheriff and he told that sheriff who called him, he told that sheriff that we all knew what he was doing. That's not him turning him in. The police already knew. Okay, cool. Tony, we're back. Tony, laughing face. Ignoring it, host is selectives. Okay, so I'm back to where I was. So you did not give me a Forbes article to that effect. Okay, anyway, back to his wealth.
seems like malpractice for the Secretary of State to not be able to see this president and his family enriching themselves by billions of dollars. So the only thing I can, from
No
my
one has ever said in a meeting, let's go do this because it's going to
Of
help me
course
make
he's
money.
not going to say that.
But not
Of
even
course
hint
he's not
at
gonna
it.
say
Not even
that.
hint at it. Not even on the
You don't
contrary.
have to hint at it. The facts speak for themselves, sir. They're in the record. They're in the forms the president put forward himself. It's in the billions of dollars he has put in his pocket. It is the timing of the deals and the announcements, and the only thing
Oh, critical said this is why women should not vote because I'm more intelligent than you. I know that does hurt your sensibilities.
I can see is, my question to you as I conclude my time, Mr. Secretary, is what's changed in your perspective? Is it the party affiliation of the president, or is it your own political ambitions?
I already told you at the outset, people don't make, and I've seen the president say this, people should not be making money off of their government service. He said that repeatedly.
then how come he is? We went over, it took me about an hour to get through the entirety of the fact that he submitted the forms about his stock trades and his bond trades, and his signature was on it. So don't tell me he didn't know, because he signed it. We have the forms, and that he invested in stocks that he then later either gave contracts to or approved mergers of, or he praised in Truth Social posts or in rally speeches. If he's so against enriching yourself in the office, how come he's enriching himself in the office?
I've heard him say that, but not once. I want to reiterate this. There has not been a single decision that's been made that I have witnessed or been a part of that in any way indicate to me or to any reasonable mind that this was linked to some financial agreement or arrangement.
I think the facts clearly are differently, and I hope you take a look at them. And with that, I yield back.
Now, we're going to move on to the wealth of his family real quick, and then we will get out of here. Do I have a funny video today? I might. I'll have to check my TikTok. This is Rubio being asked about Jared Kushner's increase in wealth. Now, remember, Jared Kushner is married to Ivanka Trump. Ivanka did have an official government position in the Trump first term, in his administration in the first term. She does not now. Jared Kushner goes on these meetings, including negotiation meetings in way of Iran with Steve Witkoff, who is an envoy, so an official position. Jared Kushner does not have an official position within the government, but he is speaking on behalf of the government. Again, Jared Kushner, thank you so much. That's my husband. Jared Kushner does not have an official position within the government, but he goes and he represents the government. And he's making money hand over fist, so let's talk about that.
In the spring, another company chaired by Sheikh Tagnoun, MGX, deposited $2 billion in World Liberty Financial's stablecoin, the single largest investment in the crypto company.
Actually, no, producer, I'm not. I'm actually very much for the Republican Josh Hawley's Pelosi Act, which would mean that congressional representatives from both the House, the Senate, the President of the United States, and his cabinet would no longer be able to trade stocks. I am totally for that. The Republican majority-led Congress has not brought that onto a floor for a vote. I don't know why. I'm totally for that. I do not want Democrats being able to trade stocks at all because they can effectuate how those stocks increase or decrease, correct? Same way I feel about the president. He should not be able to enrich himself in that way, whether he's a Democrat or a Republican, because he can effectuate what those markets do. No, you're wrong, actually. I hold my stance consistent.
Ever. Weeks later, the chip deal was announced despite national security concerns. Secretary Rubio, do you believe that Mr. Witkoff has an unacceptable conflict of interest?
I have never seen any evidence that he's made any decisions or advocated for any position that's to his personal benefit. On the contrary, and again, I can't speak to all the things you're saying now because that's not, Mr. Witkoff is an employee of the White House and he undergoes the ethics vetting and the procedures for disclosure that are appropriate to them, not to the State Department.
Guys, hit that 200,000. I know we can do it. Come on, hit that 200,000.
But I would just add, I want to be fair, okay? I've never seen the guy ever say anything to me that makes me think this is personal rather than... The only thing he's ever done is spend his own money. Yeah. I know he has spent his own money at great personal expense to fly around the world on his own airplane, not on the government bill. He has...
Prove that? Again, source? Oh, Marco Rubio, is that Tony? Are you on YouTube right now? Proof?
You know, he has done it, but everything out of his own pocket.
Are you concerned about the appearance of a conflict of interest in Mr. Witkoff?
I've never seen anything that leads me to have that concern. You know, again, you've cited a bunch of things. I'm just not aware of those but I'm just telling you my personal interactions with Mr. Witkoff are of a person who just thinks he's serving the country and is happy to do so, not out of any personal gain, but because he wants to serve the country.
Except that we have information that looks like impropriety. Hi, do you have that source for me that he turned in Epstein?
Fuck your Democrat Party!
Are you okay?
You
Do we need to call a
stupid
trusted
bitch.
adult? Do you have a trusted adult we can call for you?
You're a bunch of pedophiles, child sex traffickers, and money launderers.
Oh, sounds like you're talking about the president. I agree. The president is
No,
that.
that's all Democrats. You blame.
So
That's why
do
you guys
you
can't accept fucking
have
accountability.
do you
Because
have
you
that
guys know you
source?
did it, and
Do
you're
you
trying to
have
blame
that
Trump. Blame
source?
Trump.
I
Blame
know.
Trump.
It's very
Ah.
tough. It's tough when you've made your
Fucking
entire
weirdos.
identity
You're all
Donald Trump.
pedophiles, child sex
Do
traffickers, and
you
money launderers.
have evidence
That's why
that
300,000
Donald Trump
people
turned in
were missing.
Epstein?
300,000 kids were
Do
missing under
you
Joe
have?
Biden.
That's a different,
Yeah?
completely different conversation. And no, they did not go missing. Do you have evidence that Donald
Yeah, they
Trump
did.
turned
Yeah, they
in
did. They went
Epstein?
missing because they're
Do
eating
you
children,
have?
you
Oh,
fucking
okay.
dummy.
Do you have evidence that Donald Trump turned in
The
Epstein?
Pizzagate. The Pizzagate.
Yeah, that was debunked. Do you have evidence that Donald
It
Trump
was not
turned in
debunked.
Epstein?
It's in the Epstein files, just like how Bill Gates orchestrated the
Pizzagate?
COVID-19.
Pizzagate is in the Epstein files?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
Hillary
Okay,
Clinton
sweetheart.
and her drizzle drip.
Yeah. Oh, sweetie.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
It's tough. It's really,
Overlooking
really
all
tough
the
to find out
evil,
you've been
but you're
duped.
just
I
blaming
know.
Trump because you guys
It's
are a
tough.
bunch of fucking
So again,
pedophiles
I
and
ask
Nazis.
you, do you have evidence that Donald Trump turned in Epstein?
We lived through the evidence. What are you talking about?
Oh, I would like to see it. Do you have the evidence that Donald
You
Trump
like to
turned
see it?
in Epstein?
You
Yeah, I
like to
would.
see it?
I would
Go,
really like
go
to see it.
outside. Go outside.
I'm going to see the evidence that Donald Trump turned in Epstein if I go outside.
Yeah, go outside. Go actually talk to people. They
Sweetie,
did. He
you
did
called
turn
me
them
back.
in.
You called me
Donald
back.
Trump is the best president
You,
that ever
I know.
existed,
It's
and you're
tough. What are you
crying
gonna
about
do?
it.
What are you gonna do when nature ends him? What are you gonna do about that?
When nature ends him,
Mm-hmm.
pray
He's
for
80.
pray for him and his family.
Okay, that's
Exactly.
okay. I just, you maybe
And then the
maybe you
next
need to
one's gonna be
understand that
coming
you
up.
were the
The
one.
next one's gonna
You
be
were
coming
the
up.
one.
JD Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, maybe. Tulsi Gabbard should become
Yeah.
president.
You were the one who called
Yeah.
me back and started screaming. So
I
maybe
sure
you're the one who
did,
needs
because
to go
I need to
outside.
call you dumb,
You live
dumb
in Hawaii,
fucks out on your
correct?
shit.
Correct.
Because
You
you're
live in
fucking
Hawaii.
dumb, bro.
You live in Hawaii.
You're fucking dumb.
You live in Hawaii.
Yeah, I sure
One
do.
of the most beautiful states in the United
Yeah,
States
what
of
you call
America,
paradise,
and yet
I
you
call home.
decided to call
Born and
me
raised,
to
Donna.
yell.
Born and raised.
Yeah, and you decided to call me to yell. Maybe you need to go
Yeah,
outside.
to yell that your Democrats are nothing but a bunch of
I'm still
pedophiles, child
asking
sex
for
traffickers,
proof.
and
I'm
money
still
launderers.
asking for that proof because
Fucking
I
more
I
worried
could look
about giving
outside.
$30,000
I could
to
look
illegal
outside
aliens
right now, and I
on
don't
EBT,
see.
our fucking
I
money,
don't see where Donald Trump turned in
taking care of
Epstein. I could look
fucking illegal
outside and I
aliens that
don't
are
see
raping
that.
fucking children.
Okay, you need to get help, honey. Like legitimately, you should probably get some help.
I could be a better off than that.
We'll just he's just unwell. So, I mean, there's that. Those are your people. Those are your people. Anyway, we're gonna finish this. I'm not a Democrat, Big Fox. I'm just not. What's the point of me crashing out on that guy crashing out? What is that going to accomplish for me? He has no evidence for me. He has nothing. He has a lot of feelings about the fact that he chose at the time, 79-year-old man to dupe him, and he continues to get on his knees for him. That's interesting to me. There's definitely going to be studies about that.
As Secretary of State, who's in charge of the foreign affairs of the United States, have you spoken to President Trump about any concerns about conflict of interest with Mr. Witkoff?
I haven't had to. I've not seen any.
Let's talk about Jared Kushner. His private equity firm, Affinity Partners, has raised more than $6 billion since it was founded in 2021, including $1.2 billion just over the last year. Mr. Secretary, are you aware of how much of that $6 billion has been raised from foreign nationals?
I don't know anything about
The
that.
answer is 99%. These include sovereign wealth funds operated by Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. The Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund is the largest investor in Affinity Partners. In fact, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman personally recommended that Saudi Arabia invest in Affinity Partners. The Crown Prince has also personally urged President Trump in multiple phone calls to continue the ongoing war of choice in Iran. Let's put it another way. The man who bankrolled Kushner's business venture is the same man who is lobbying for the war Kushner is tasked with ending. Ms. Secretary, same question. Are you concerned about any conflict of interest by Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law?
I just want you guys to know that I got on TikTok for misinformation. Now, do you think it was mine? Or do we think it was his? Just a question. Was it mine or was it his?
Again, in Jared's case, Jared is a private citizen who's been advising and participating in this voluntarily. He's not compensated for it or in any way. But I've never seen from either Steve or Jared on the contrary. All I've ever seen them do is put tremendous amount of time and energy into trying to solve problems, like the amount of time they put into Gaza and the Board of Peace and all of that process. I think
Secretary, let me
I believe
reclaim my
they've done
time.
it out of the kindness and goodness of their heart. They think they're
Yeah.
serving the country.
The goodness of their heart.
Out of the goodness of their heart.
Secretary, what you
Or maybe they're just making money. Could it be that? Could it be that they're just making money hand over fist? But again, you guys don't care about it. They actually didn't. They did not send me a video this time. It just said misinformation. We aim to ground those conversation in facts. That was him. That was probably him saying that Hillary Clinton was eating children. That's probably what that was. That was most likely him. But let me see if I did. I thought I had a
The reason
funny.
why poor
Let
white
me
people
see.
continue.
Let's double check before I get out of here. I thought I did. I did. I do have a funny for everybody before we get out of here. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay. Bring it
Men's
up.
rights people are so funny to me because the men's rights people are.
I'm so mad that we can't like full screen these anymore. They got rid of that. It's interesting, but sure.
Men's rights people are so funny to me because their thing is always like, nobody cares the boys commit. It's like, stop doing it. I don't know what to tell you. Stop playing video games and go be part of something. You're like, guys work in construction. Stop. Go be an accountant. I just think it's like kind of pathetic. These guys that are like, no one cares about the plight of boys. I'm like, yeah, probably because girls have it worse. I
Just
don't
a
want to sound
girl.
like a woke asshole.
Yeah.
But women low-key have it hard. Men's rights people are.
So sorry, guys. Maybe just stop. Maybe that. Maybe just stop. It would help you, I think, a lot. Okay, so we did not Ooh, yay! Yay, I got approved. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Appeal approved. Let me exit out of this. We'll come back, and then we can say goodbye. We're going to come back to say goodbye. You say goodbye, and I say hello. The guy is mild-tempered compared to me. Marine, you should probably seek some therapy. If you are a Marine veteran the way that you say, I really hope that you use your VA benefits for that. Really, really do. That would be good for you, I think. Unwell. Okay. That's funny. Go back. We were almost 200,000 likes. Dude, I'm so mad. We're almost there.
I'm
We're
still
almost there.
telling you, I would have been a better op.
Oh, yeah. He was upsetty spaghetti. That shit was funny. You're welcome, Ethics, for getting that song stuck in your head. It's kind of me to campaign for Rubio. He's campaigning for himself. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. But, you know, sure. Sure. Okay, perfect. Yay! Love is a better op. I turned the phone lines off because we're not going to deal with any other crash outs today since I'm getting ready to leave. They can come crash out again tomorrow if they wish to. Not him. I blocked him. But I can't believe that as a grown adult Marine, you would admit that you can't speak like a, you know, human. Person to person. I spoke to somebody earlier today. Person to person. I have no problem doing that. I even spoke to that guy person to person. I didn't crash out on him. I didn't call him names. I didn't do any of that. I talked to him like a human because he's a human. He's the one who didn't talk to me like that. So, I mean, sure. Let's see. Yay. All right. So, YouTube, Twitch. I appreciate you guys being here, even if you guys either had crash outs or never gave me any sources in the comments, Tony. I want that Forbes article, Tony. And don't forget, I'll remember you. But I will see you guys. Thank you guys so much for the jewels. Thank you for the conversations. I hope you all hit that thumbs up there. If you missed any part of the live, that is where the rewatch will be, is YouTube and Twitch. So please make sure that you guys are doing that. And I appreciate you being here. I will be back 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Thank you, that Crow guy, for the super chat today. I really appreciated that as well. And we will see you guys then. So I'm going to send you to Maniacal Mia. You are going to go over there and you are going to support Maniacal Mia. Or you can do the same thing you did with me and you can hate chat, but she has a call-in number as well. She has different kinds of conversations than I do, but similar in tone. And you can have those conversations with the wonderful Mia. So I'm going to send your guys' raid over there and I'll see you guys tomorrow.